Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me in our fourth lesson in this How to Draw series. Can't believe it's 4 lessons already. We've covered a lot, I think, in my opinion. We covered a lot of foundational skills so far. If you haven't seen those previous videos, I'll put them in the description for you. We've covered things like mastering the circle, covering those 3 types of lines, and talking about line width to improve that quality of the line as well. So we're working on a lot of foundational skills, working on building our arm. We're going to take all those skills we've built up and we're going to talk about perspective today. It's a big topic. I'm going to just cover a few aspects of it because it could be a full course just on perspective. But let me introduce it to you. So we have the idea of 1-point perspective is kind of the basic idea. So what I'm going to do is I'll draw a horizon line across the page like that. And we'll put a single point on that line, and that is going to be where all of our lines that converge going away from us will terminate here. So let me demonstrate. We have, say, a square here, and we'll put one over here, and maybe another one here. And all of these lines that go away from us are going to converge here. Right? Okay, and so we kind of pick an arbitrary depth for that cube. Drop it down parallel to those vertical lines. And then this line is parallel to that horizontal line. So that's what we call a one-point perspective cube. I'll just finish these off. Right, so there's the other one. And then we have this one. Okay, so essentially you can think of a 1-point perspective as maybe not used so terribly much, but sometimes you want to tell a story from this perspective. You know, you can think about walking down the street, you know, maybe towards the sunset over here or something. And this is like a western town. Oops, I should use my thing here, so it's more like that. Anyway, yeah, so 1-point perspective. Jumping into 2-point perspective, I'll draw the same type of horizon line, kind of just anywhere I want, but for now we'll put it in the middle of the page. So this time we're going to pick 2 points to terminate our lines at. Normally these vanishing points are kind of further off the page, and you're going to infer them. Maybe you can draw, there's ways to do it, but for today demonstrating, I'm just going to show you right here. So let's see, we'll draw a vertical line to a building, say something like that, and then we're going to go off into the distance like that. And we pick a depth, say here. And why don't we bring it this corner now all the way over here, and this corner all the way over here. We've got our cube floating in space in 2-point perspective, right? So I'm just going to shade that in for fun. You can pick another spot below the line maybe, and then one crossing the line. So why don't we do this one? Something like this. So now you don't see the bottom, right? But because it's crossing the horizon, you just see these 2 faces. So this is our cube, and you're kind of straddling that line. And then just for good measure, let's do one below the horizon line. Oops. So let's say it's longer. Maybe pick something like this. It's a long, kind of thin one. Yeah, so you get the idea. You can play around with some exercises to practice your 2-point perspective. I would suggest just filling your page with these, kind of cubes and rectangles and stuff. And you'll notice I've been kind of just doing it with my arm, right? I'm not using a ruler, and I would suggest you kind of try to avoid that as well. We've been building up our arm to do these types of lines with confidence, with smooth, kind of confident lines, right? So I encourage you to try it without rulers and just build up that muscle memory, and you'll get more precision over time as well. So I'm just going to show you real quick what a 3-point perspective is so you don't wonder what the heck that might be. I'll draw another horizon line. We have our 2 points, but now we also have a third, kind of up here. And what that means is instead of all of our vertical lines being parallel down the page, they're going to converge here at this line. So we'll have lines converging here, lines converging there, and then up top as well. So we'll just draw real quick a building. Maybe it's above the horizon line here. So I'll do this. Let's say it's this tall. And say it's this deep. So we're going to draw a line from here through this to here. And same over here, I'll just pick a spot. I'll draw a line from here through that down to here. This point connects over here. This point connects over here. And where these intersect is your bottom. So 3-point perspective, kind of fun, but it really means you're kind of underneath something and really this exaggerated warping, suggests a very smallness, and it's its own thing, but I think you're going to find a lot of value in just the 2-point perspective. You should probably just focus on that because you want to get good at drawing ellipses. So this is the last thing I want to say about perspective because it's very much another building block that you're going to use a lot. Is how to draw like a cylinder. How do you draw like a circle in 2-point perspective? So just really quick, let's do our horizon line, 2 vanishing points. Let's get a square. Drop it down. And let's say here. So you can pick a face to practice with, but basically a circle is always going to have its edges tangent to certain points. So if we want to find the midpoint of this line here, something like that. So the circle is going to rub up against these points. Like that. So if you were to draw a cylinder coming down this way, that's how you would, that's how you would form your ellipses. And you can practice that, well, you should practice that quite a bit actually, because it's going to be a very useful thing to just do intuitively. So the more you practice it, the more you can do this stuff without having to set up all these grids all the time, right? So if you wanted to draw the same kind of shape without having the guides, you kind of have the muscle memory and the precision to kind of pull it off. This is going to be arms, and we'll have like shoulders here and elbows, and we can draw another cylinder to have the forearms. And we're going to build a lot of our human forms which is something we're going to talk about in our next lesson. Is we're going to introduce these ideas of perspective and how they relate to drawing the human form, which is something I personally enjoy very much. And I think there's a lot of value in exploring the human form because there's just infinite amount of ways to draw them. There's just an endless amount of inspiration, I find. So get ready for those lessons coming up by practicing your perspective, your ellipses, your cubes. Don't forget about line weight while you're at it. Use your whole arm and all that jazz. So thanks again for watching. If you want to leave a comment down below, go for it. I'm going to be reading all the comments and I enjoy the interactions that we can have. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.